Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing Nightmare of Eden from Season 17. Now, Season 17 is kind of the Williams season that you really think of when you think of the Williams era, in the sense that it's more campy, silly. Again, Douglas Adams is the script editor, and his sense of humor is all over this season, so a lot of whether or not you're going to like this season depends on whether or not you click with Douglas Adams' sense of humor. I do. I very much enjoy the season. Now, I like every story this season for one reason or another. I'm not saying every story is objectively good, but as someone who subjectively loves Horns of Nimon, for example, there are no stories this season I dislike. Nightmare of Eden is probably my least favorite, but it's still a good time, D-tier, C-tier story. The lack of budget makes itself apparent, and some of the less than stellar acting you get sometimes in this pulls it back as well. Now, Lala Ward and Tom Baker are fantastic in this. Tom Baker has some really good lines in this, good dialogues, good mannerisms. I love that bit when the guy tells him that, like, Space Command or whatever had been out of business for 20 years, and he's like, I wonder why I hadn't gotten paid. That doesn't make any sense, Doctor. That's what I thought. I love some of the Doctor's comebacks in this. And I like the fact that a lot of times when someone starts questioning him, he just starts talking really fast and kind of running them over until they stop questioning him. There's a couple times when that happens, when he just kind of, through sheer force of will, steals the conversation until they shut up. All the way until the one kind of police officer captain comes in and the Doctor's trying to do it again and it's not working. The cop keeps coming back to, where is your permit? It's pretty funny how the Doctor does that. Tom's not the only Doctor to do that. But I do like how he does this a lot in the story, how he just keeps running them over with dialogue. He has a lot of very humorous bits. Some of the guest cast, though, some of them are good, some of them are not. Like the guy playing the kind of captain of the ship, the one that gets drugged about halfway through, he's good. I like him in it. The guy who's playing his navigator, that's not in the episode much, he's pretty good. The guy playing the guy who's flying the other ship that crashes into it, I like him. The blonde-headed, kind of curly-haired guy, I kind of like him. Then you have the guy who's doing like the weird German accent thing, Tristan or whatever his name is. I'm not quite sure exactly what accent he's trying to do there. Maybe a German one. It's off. Now, for me, I adjust to it as the story goes on. I get used to it. Also not quite so not sure what's up with those style of glasses he's wearing. They have this very kind of hipster feel to them, combined with that accent. But I adjust to the accent, but I never think it's a really good performance. The girl that's working for him, she's just okay, kind of average. The guy who is hiding inside Eden, he's pretty good. Not Oscar winning, but he's pretty good. And then the guy playing the kind of captain, the one who's thinking about a promotion, I don't really care much for him either. He's very two-dimensional. Not that I necessarily think that's the actor's fault. I think the actor just understood the assignment. So and then you have a lot of other side characters who are just kind of NPCs that are there to either be glorified extras or to get killed. So the guest cast is a very mixed bag. The monster design is fine. I mean, it's not very good. It's obviously a person in a suit, but it's fine. I understand the argument that if you'd filmed them more in shadows, like Hinchcliffe era style maybe or something, that would have worked better. But under the bright studio lights, they don't work. Especially a couple times when the way the people in the suits are moving is more comical. Like when they're all being herded back when the lasers stop working, and they're all kind of like, ha-ha! It's a little silly. And then when they're being herded one time, one of them's just kind of like, rah! There are some comedic parts. The cliffhangers are fine. They range from fine to pretty good. I do like I think it's the episode 3 when the doctor kind of phases out. I, of course, watched it with the updated effects. I tend to watch it with the updated effects. The spaceship scenes look a lot better. Most of the lasers look better. Although I do wish the main laser guns the guest cast used, the original versions, the blast alternate between blue and green, and that looks pretty neat. But the updated special effect just shoots out a teal laser. And I don't know why you would make your laser the most uninteresting color to ever exist. Who likes teal? Like teal? It's like they combined the blue and green alternating bits into just make teal, because teal is kind of a bluish green. Most boring color ever. I would have rather them updated it and still had the alternating blue-green, but maybe the person who did it was just lazy. I don't know. Or more accurately, they're probably under a time crunch. Now, I think it was Cunning Monkey did a fan-made updated special effects, and he has updated special effects for the blast where they alternate colors, and it looks much, much better. I do like a lot of the exterior shots, though, a lot. And then some of the other laser shots look really, really impressive, like K9's blast and stuff like that. It's an interesting thing to watch Doctor Who kind of tackle, a subject like this where drugs, it's kind of a drugs are bad, okay, situation. And the revelation of how the drugs are formed and how they are attached and connected with the creatures that are in the story is actually quite fascinating. I think that's something you don't see coming if you've never seen the episode before. I think that's done really well. I like the idea of the little machine that the Tristan or whatever his name is built, actually almost kind of transporting you to the place, and it's all because it's built in an amateur way that makes it do that it's unstable. And I like the fact the guy who built it's very proud of it, but to a Time Lord is kind of archaic and amateurish. And there's a scene where I like how it's almost like he thinks the Doctor's complimenting him, which the first couple things he are compliments. But then the Doctor kind of picks on him about basically building a zoo, kind of similar to the machine in Carnival of Monsters, really. And so the Doctor is kind of insulting him, but he still does it in that friendly banter way, to where the other guy he doesn't quite get it. And Tom Baker's really good at doing that kind of thing, and not only him, other doctors are as well. It's a very Doctor thing to do. And then it kind of keeps you in the mystery of who's behind everything, really, until part 4, which I really like. Of course, a couple of the things the people responsible do before that kind of makes it seem odd when you get to that later, but it's a solid story, tackling, again, that kind of subject like Doctor Who doesn't really do very often. Which is interesting, and I think it does a fun take on it. Again, the budget lets it down. Season 17, they really did go with the tentpole strategy. You take the budget, and instead of making every story look like this, you put that money into 2 of your stories to really bump them up, but the other stories suffer. And so, of course, they put their money into City of Death, and Shada made all the more tragic with what happened with Shada. And because of that, all of your other productions suffer to that degree. And I do maintain all of them do suffer a bit because of that. Destiny of the Daleks, Creature from the Pit, Nightmare of Eden, and Horns of Nimon all are less stories than they could have been if they had had more budget put into them. Now, I like all of those stories for one reason or another. Horns of Nimon is just, if you accept it as campy, silly pantomime, it's a great time. And I enjoy Destiny of the Daleks, despite its, again, major production problems. And then even Creature from the Pit, aside from kind of falling apart in episode 4, I really enjoy, especially those first 7 minutes of episode 4, which I've raved about many times on the channel. And then, of course, Nightmare of Eden, again, falls in that. The sets don't really look that impressive, to be honest. They look like cheap, classic Doctor Who sets. Nightmare of Eden is one of those stories that when you think of classic Doctor Who in a stereotypical, cheap, wobbly sets way, it's like that. There's even one scene when Tom Baker's running down the steps. You see the steps kind of, whoop, like, whoop, be careful, Tom. And again, the monster costumes, which, they're fine for someone like me who can accept that for what it is. It doesn't bother me. But I could see someone who watches just the modern series and they're going back trying to watch classic Doctor Who. This isn't the story. I'd be like, that one! Because I don't know how their willing suspension of disbelief can handle that. And again, you do have some of the guest acting that's But I enjoy it. Again, it's my least favorite of the season, but I like the humor of it. I like the story itself. Again, our main cast are putting in good performances, which I like. Some of the guest cast are good. And it's a good time. It's a good time. Especially with the updated effects, which do help it a bit, aside from those one lasers. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace to go back and watch it every now and then when I'm in the mood for some season 17 goodness. So Nightmare of Eden, what do you think of it? Comment down below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. A link to the Patreon is down there as well. A link to the Amazon wishlist, the Amazon UK wishlist. I also want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Androzani Major, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. Most importantly, thank you for watching.